Moving on to item 3, zoning hearings. I'm opening a zoning hearing. A, Chapter 145 hearing on behalf of Stone Properties, Ltd. Number 1, consideration of resolution number... Okay, all right. Excuse me. Mr. Stone. Sorry, didn't mean to leave you out.
I guess I got the notice that my houses are abandoned, and I'd like the definition of abandonment. I looked it up in the dictionary, and that's, I guess, didn't satisfy me. And then I got notices on them that they're condemned, basically. They're not safe to go in. Nobody should enter. I think it's a little bit overboard myself, but I don't feel they're neglected. In a sense, yes, they're neglected, but they're not abandoned because I pay the taxes on them, I mow the yards, I scoop the snow. They're empty, yes, but so are a lot of other houses in town. Lots and lots of houses are empty. And I'm not saying they don't need some paint and some spiffing up. I'm not denying that at all, but it's a little bit of tough financial times right now, and I'd sell them all, but somebody find me a buyer. But I don't know what I'm supposed to do with them, I guess is what I'm asking. According to the notice, I can't even go in them now. Do not enter. I just think it's a bit much.
Adam, would you like
Almost makes you feel like a criminal, and I didn't ever consider myself a criminal.
I can speak a little bit to the entry requirement of under 145. The only allowance for entry into a property that's been posted for abandonment purposes is to rectify the abatement issue. That is the only allowance to cross onto the property once that posting is made. As far as an abandonment issue goes, I have discussed it with the city attorney, and his recommendation was that if the property is being maintained, he did not believe that that was an abandonment, that it would not meet the definition of abandonment. I'm not saying that the house may not fall under something else, but he did not feel that it fell under the terms of abandonment.
Well, for my part, I was sitting here that night with the P&Z as a city representative in the audience here when they discussed this issue. And looking a little further, you know, I saw no unsafe portion of these buildings.
There isn't that I know of.
And I got to looking in the city code, and the city code allows for a maintenance issue. That has nothing to do with the P&Z, the orders that the P&Z issued that night. I feel were, in my opinion, were unjustified on those three properties. Because there's a maintenance issue that's also in the city code that they have no control over, jurisdiction of, and that particular portion was 145, I believe.
Yeah,
And 149. And I felt that that property,
145, section 145.02.
149. And I thought that would be a more appropriate code to deal with this. And I think what happened for those three properties and yours, the order to issue that citation and have those notices posted was an error, my personal opinion. Because I didn't feel that it fell under the P&Z's jurisdiction for the appearance of those buildings. I live beside one of them. There's no holes in the roof. There's no, you know, compared to some of the other properties we have in town that have holes in the roof, you know, broken windows, they're just basically falling down. None of those three properties you have, you know, especially after driving by the other two, I felt even came close to meeting any of those requirements. And in my opinion, I think those 3 notices should not have been issued. They should have been handled under the maintenance portion.
Well, if we get into maintenance even, there's, how many houses in town are under that?
That's
Problem.
another issue. You know, how can we determine, okay, we're gonna do this here, you know, tonight, then, you know, wait a year and then go do, you know, then that, I think, is something the whole city council needs to address, that, you know, so it doesn't lead anybody to believe.
I'd hate to say what percentage of houses in town are under-maintained, I guess, if you want to put it into a maintenance problem.
Well, with the maintenance, just to read part of that code, the exterior of all premises and all structures therein shall be kept free of nuisances of any hazards to the safety of the occupant, pedestrians, and other persons utilizing the premises, and free of unsanitary conditions, and any of the foregoing shall be promptly removed and abated by the owner or operator. It is the duty of the owner or operator to keep the premise free of hazards, which include, but are not limited to, brush, leaves, etc., dead or dying trees, etc., storm damage, loose overhanging objects, accumulation of ice and snow. That also where I believe the city gets, you know, you gotta shut your snow within 24 hours or something, because that's part of that. Holes, excavations, breaks, projections, obstructions, icy conditions, uncleared snow, excretion of pets, other animals on the paths, walks. But, and then it continues. Foundations, chimneys, flues, exterior porches, landing, balconies, fire escapes shall be provided with banisters. The exterior of the premises and exterior of the structures and the condition of the accessory structures shall be maintained so that the appearance of the premise and structures shall not constitute a blighting factor for the adjoining property. And that all comes out of the maintenance code. Now, and I realize, you know, that we have some issues in town, especially, you know, like say, there's a house here, and this neighbor goes, well, you know, here I got my house all fixed up, and this other house has got paint falling off, and the roof caving in, you know, and we need to do something with that. And I realize, and I think that the city has some obligation, you know, to have a set of rules like this somewhere. But how the city's going to define who's going to get penalized, who's going to do this, so we don't have the appearance of, okay, we're going to pick on this particular property owner and that particular property owner, unless everybody gets treated the same. In my personal opinion, those 3 homes of yours would fall under the maintenance issue and have no jurisdiction under the condemnation of the penalty.
Do any of the
I
other
don't know what the other council members should do.
any of the other council members have any comments or additions to?
Charged under wrong chapter. It's a major problem, not a abandonment problem.
Bill, you seem like you want to say something.
You know, and I'm missing the second page of 149.
It's on the back of the
Oh,
first.
okay,
What's
sorry.
that?
That's right. It seems like we don't have any teeth in it to enforce it, you know, as far as,
Built in chapter 3, code 30.03, and there is the penalty fix. And I think the standard civil penalties, first offense not to exceed $750, each offense not to exceed $1,000 to make the thing.
That's
You
any
just said-
civil penalty that doesn't fall under another jurisdiction. right?
Yes. And that would, but I think we need to be very careful with what we do with that too.
Jim, do you have any comments? You don't have anything?